Hi, welcome back, or welcome for the first time if that is you. Great to have you here. My name is Karen. We are on Try This at Home Yoga Intermissions. Today's a slightly special session of gentle flow yoga. Sometimes necessity is the mother of invention. Not that I invented gentle yoga, but I took a spill earlier this week and banged up my knee and my elbow, and I am fine. However, you receive the merits of that through gentle yoga. So it's really great to have you practicing today. As a reminder, your practice, not mine. I'm your guide. So if there's something that doesn't work for you, please, please, please adjust. A pillow, even a bed pillow, is a great item for you, especially today. If you have yoga blocks, grab them. If you don't, that's okay too. All kinds of pillows available. You can use blankets. You could even use a tablecloth rolled up. We're going to go ahead and start on our backs for this particular session. And I will meet you on the mat. So take your time moving onto your back. You're welcome to place something underneath your low back, your sacrum, but certainly bend the knees and glide the soles of the feet onto the mat. I still have my socks on because it's a little bit cool this morning here in Vermont. You can let the feet come a little bit wider than the hips. Just finding a relaxed spot for the feet. Gently lift one shoulder blade off the mat and scoot it a little toward the hip on the same side. Let it drop. See if it can settle in. Take the opposite shoulder, lift that off the mat. So the shoulder blade has peeled away from the mat. You move it forward toward the hip on the same side, then let it rest downward. Rock the head left and right, allowing the nose to find center, which might not feel super centered to you, but let the body do what the body will. Take the fingertips and place them onto the mat so the wrists are off the mat. I'll just pause here. Roll around on the feet, feeling all corners, all the sides, the top, where the toes are touching the mat, and the back where the heels are touching the mat. Just start to feel that with some movement. Now notice the middle back. Your middle back might be a little lifted from the mat, or maybe it's a little flatter on the mat. Guide your awareness down toward the tailbone. Oftentimes, as we are lying on the mat or the floor or the bed, we're finding a little bit of an arch in the spine because the booty is scooted toward the shoulder blades. We're going to take a little energy into the fingertips and the feet. Shift the hips just gently off the mat, a little tiny bit, doesn't have to be a lot. And point the tailbone to the sky and tuck the ribs in. Then bring the spine back to the mat. Gently drop the knees toward each other like they're getting to know one another. They might spread the feet a little wider to make that happen. And if it feels okay for your body, breathe in, float the arms high toward the sky. Pause and imagine the arms just got super heavy, drop them into the shoulders. On the next inhale, arms lift over the head if that feels okay. Otherwise, you can place the hands, the backs of the hands on the forehead. Next breath in, float the arms high overhead. A breath out, bring them down by your sides. Feet scoot in toward each other so they're just about hips width distance. And gently draw one knee above the hip on the same side. You might feel the lower back starting to match into the mat. Activate the foot that is elevated. If it feels okay for you, hands can come to that right shin and draw the knee in toward the chest. See if you can press the big toe mound of the left foot into the mat. Bring the hands behind the right thigh, lengthen the leg toward the sky. There might still be a bend in that knee. Alternate between pointing the toes and pointing the heel to the stars. Check in with the shoulder blades. If they're hunched up now toward your ceiling, see if you can release them downward. If it feels good, move into ankle circles, taking those circles first in one direction, then the other. Open and close the toes. And pause with that leg nice and long. Bend the knee, the shin is parallel to the mat. Allow the knee to come gently over the right hip. If it feels okay for you, bring the left knee to meet the right. So now the lower spine is drawn to the mat, but for some of us, we might feel like the back is lifting away. Let the shoulder blades settle in. Now imagine that the legs are heavy, drawing the backs of the hips downward. And stay here for a moment. Draw the belly in and up. Feel the pelvic floor lift toward the navel. Very gently place the right foot onto the mat. Hands can come to the shin of the left foot, shin of the left foot, shin of the left leg as you draw the knee in toward the heart. Knee stacks over the hip once again. Hands behind the thigh. If that makes sense for your body, the leg floats upward, lengthening toward the sky. Activate the foot. Press the toes toward the stars. Press the heels toward the stars. And take that a few more times. See if the shoulders can release downward. Ankle circles. Opposite direction. Open and close the toes. Draw the knee in toward the heart. Bring the sole of the foot to the mat. And the hands back to the mat. Maybe the fingertips or the palms are on the mat. Send a little energy back into the hands and the feet to float the hips a little bit off the floor. Maybe not a lot. Maybe you place something underneath the sacrum here or the low back. So you can tilt the tailbone a little higher toward the sky. Shift the hips over to the right. And come all the way onto the left side with the left arm straight out of the shoulder. If you need to place something under your head, go ahead and do that. The right hand comes on top of the left. Feet can stack. Very slowly glide the right hand across the left wrist to the elbow. Beginning to move on to the spine as the right hand comes to the left elbow, the shoulder. Crosses the collarbones. Flops out to the right. Nose might point toward the sky. Or perhaps, if it's accessible, it points over the right shoulder. Take a big, big breath in through the nose. Let it go out the mouth. Full belly breath. Inhale, the nose returns pointing toward the sky. Palms, if they can, face downward now onto the ground, the floor, or the mat. Soles of the feet return to the mat. Shift down to realign the spine top to bottom, whatever's natural for your spine. Feet come a little wider once again. This time we lift the tailbone to the sky, press energy into the hands and the feet. Hips move away from the mat, shift over a few inches to the left to find yourself all the way on the right side. Right arm extending directly out of the shoulder. Left hand meets the right palm. Long, slow breath in. Left hand glides up to the wrist, the right elbow, the shoulder. You're coming onto your back now. Crosses the collarbones, flops out to the left. The head might follow, or maybe the nose points toward the sky. Big belly breath in and out. Let the nose come back to center. The head follows because it's all attached. The soles of the feet return to the mat. Knees point toward the sky. Do one more hugging in of the knees in toward the heart. If it feels good for your body, press the middle of the back into the ground. Engage the belly a lot. Lift the shoulders. Lift the head. Draw the head toward the knees. If you're still all the way on the back, you can move on to one side. We're all going to meet in a seat. That might mean rocking and rolling here, or making your way onto one side, coming to a seat. Sometimes your body doesn't do exactly what you think it might do, so it's good to explore. I'm going to work into a little breath. If it is more comfortable for you, you can grab a pillow to sit on. Bring your sitting bones toward the front of the pillow. And if you need something to soften the knees toward the ground and support them, you can place a pillow under each knee or one knee or the other as well. In your comfortable seat, Sukhasana, legs are crossed if they can be. They could be stacked shins or maybe a half or full lotus if that's comfortable for you. I'm going to start with a mudra called the Shankha mudra, a gesture, hand gesture, which is one of the yogic practices. Now take your, I'm not mirroring you here, so you're going to do the opposite of what you see. Take the left hand and put it at an angle across your chest. Thumb is away from the fingers. Take the right hand and lightly wrap the fingers around the thumb, almost like a baby would do if you were reaching out toward their hand. They curl their fingers around the thumb. Then bring the palm of the right hand in its curled up way toward the heart. Take the fingers of the left hand, press the tops of the fingers together. The right thumb will come either to the middle finger or maybe meet the tip of all of the fingers. So the left hand is not super straight. This Shankha mudra is a mudra of inner calm, of inner comfort, and it is associated with the fire chakra, the energetic chakra. We're going to close the eyes or maybe put them at half mast. See if you can release the knees a little bit. Tuck the chin. Notice the warmth where the hands connect. And perhaps if the grip of the right hand is pretty tight on the left thumb, you loosen it a little bit. What are the shoulders doing? It might make sense to breathe in, shrug them up toward the ears. Breathe out, press them behind you and down. Come back to the warmth of the hands, the connection of the hands. This is a mudra that is promoting the notion of self-possession, of self-mastery, and at the same time creating a calmness, even with a fire of confidence. And check in with the breath. Breathe in nice and deep. Drop the jaws, sigh it away. Long breath in and sigh. Deep, full breath in from the belly all the way to the top of the head. Pause for a moment, tuck the chin, release the shoulders, release the breath. Imagine the warmth from the hands now begins to create this cocoon, soft cocoon around you with light. Let the breath reach out to that cocoon, melt into the light. On a breath in, sweep the arms wide, right out to the sides of the room. So you begin bring the elbows upward toward the sky, then lift the heart a little bit. The belly will work for you here. The quads might have activated. Fingers have space between them. Breathe in, breathe out. Next breath in, arms float high overhead. Palms press together up overhead. Maybe the gaze lifts, it does not have to. See if the biceps can come a little closer to the ears. Breathe in nice and deeply. Exhale, palms find their home at your heart. Bring to mind an intention or motivation for the remainder of this practice. Let the thumb knuckles move in toward the sternum, breastbone. Let the sides of the body, front, back, and both sides, get a little bit longer, a little taller. You like to join in the sound of Om, vibration of which is found everywhere in nature. Om connects us with all living things. If you'd like to join in, feel free. Cleansing breath first. Drop the backs of the hands to the thighs. Eyes might remain closed or not, your choice. Press the shoulder blades behind you a little bit. Squeeze them together. Lift the heart. Belly moves in toward the spine. On an exhale, drop the chin to the chest. On an inhale, lift the chin up. On an exhale, take a look over your left shoulder, nice and slow. Breathe in and out. Inhale, return the nose to center. Exhale, chin moves to the other side, over the right shoulder. A breath in and out. Nose returns to center. Arms float wide out to your sides, out from your sides. Palms point up. Bring the fingertips to the shoulders. Small circles in one direction. Take that in the other direction. Expand the diameter of the circles going in the first direction. And then the opposite direction. Release the arms wide once again, palms face up. On a breath out, send the palms downward, then behind you. On a breath in, palms move upward. Shoulders rotate. Exhale, palms down. Pause with the palms facing the earth. Bend the wrists so the outer wrists begin to reach away from you while the fingertips move toward your torso. Reach, 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 reach with the outer wrists and point the fingers up so the palms and the heels of the hands reach outward. Reach, 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 reach. Drop the hands by your sides. If the floor is a little far away from you, you can take a hand and place it on a pillow, especially if that gives you some stability. Keeping the left hand on the mat, maybe that's the fingertips or the palm, lift the right arm overhead. Take a full breath in, lengthen the body, especially the torso, then release the quads a little bit. Another breath in. Exhale to tilt over toward the left. Without putting a lot of weight in the hand that's at the left hand, you're going to lengthen the spine. Lift the heart a little bit toward the moon. Inhale, let both arms float up. If it feels okay for the body, press the palms together there. Bend the elbows, fingers come to the nape of the neck or between the shoulder blades. Get long in the body. The torso is really long as the navel moves inward. Press the head back into the forearms. Having a little shoulder opening here. Release into a cactus shape with your arms. Wiggle the fingers. Make fists. Spread the palms and the fingers. Place the hands behind you. Maybe that's on a pillow once again, or maybe it's right on the ground below your sitting bones or just behind your glutes. Press energy into the hands. Shift the heart upward first, lengthening the belly. Squeeze the shoulder blades together. This might be plenty for your body, or maybe you have a little bit more flexibility. You can lengthen the front body from the sternum to the pelvis once again. Let the shoulder blades start to come together. The Beatles song, lift the heart, 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 heart. Maybe the chin lifts upward and the head drops back. Very gently draw the head over the shoulders over the hips. Scoop the hands by your sides once more. This time, right hand stays down on the mat, left arm floats high. Take your time finding breath to lengthen everything, not just on the left side of the body, but also the right. Breathe in. Exhale, tilt over to the right. Heart's lifting, rib cage expands. On an inhale, both arms sweep high once again. Exhale, cactus arms. If you have a lot of jutting out of the rib cage, you're going to tuck the lowest ribs in toward your hips. Forearms and palms come together in front of you. Squeeze them together. Lift the elbows. Float the hands away from the face. Imagine you have these amazing wings that are reaching outward from your shoulder blades, and the tips of your wings can touch the corners of the room. On an exhale, scoop the belly in, round the shoulders, elbows in toward the navel, head drops. Keep pressing the forearms together. Inhale, come back to your upright position and drop the hands by your sides. Keeping your right knee bent, lengthen your left leg out to the left. You might draw the right heel a little bit closer to the body. Sit up nice and tall. Right hand outside the right thigh, left hand maybe to the ground or again to a pillow to find a little twist. Keeping the left hand maybe on the ankle or the floor or the calf. Float the right arm nice and high. Start a tilt over toward the left toes. If it feels right for your body, you might take the forearm of the left arm toward the left leg. Only go as far as it feels okay for you. Lift the heart. On an inhale, rise up. Place the right hand behind your right glute. Float the left arm high. A little back bend. Maybe bend the left elbow, bring the hand behind your head. Point the left toes toward the sky. Return to your upright posture. We'll take that to the other side. This time, the left heel comes toward the body. The right leg lengthens out to the right. Left hand outside your left thigh. Right hand maybe on the calf or the shin or a pillow to find a little twist. On a breath in, left arm floats high. Right hand comes to the shin or ankle if it's not. Tilt over toward the right leg and the right toes point toward the body. Maybe the right forearm comes inside the right leg. Heart reaches for the sky. For some, it might feel better to lift the left arm straight toward the sky. For others, perhaps more of a dancer's leg curve. Inhale, rise up. Both legs this time draw outward. Take a moment to sit up tall. Send the sitting bone into the mat. Tilt the tailbone forward. So you're drawing the pelvis a little bit upward. Loosen the shoulders. Walk the hands in front of you for a fold. Aim for a long spine. So only go as far as you can with a long straight spine or as straight as your spine gets. If it's a little too much for you, you might lift the knees off the mat. The breath aids you. A breath in builds for the momentum. Belly draws in. Keep the belly in and up to make real estate for the breath out, deepening the fold. Drop your head once you've reached your edge. Walk the hands back toward the hips. Glide the feet back onto the mat. Bring the soles of the feet together. Baddha Konasana, perhaps bringing the heels a little closer to the sitting bones. The thumbs can come inside the arches of the feet. The hands wrap to the outsides of the feet. This might be enough for you. As you lift the heart, draw the belly in and the chin downward. The knees are going to find a little energy toward the ground. Might not be a lot. If this feels like the right spot for you, remain here. Otherwise, scoop the belly in, begin to round into the shoulders and find the top of the head, aiming for the soles of the feet as you peel the feet open. Inhale, rise up. Hands outside the knees to help the knees rise upward. Heel toe the feet wider than your hips. Maybe walk them forward a little bit. Hands can come by your sides or right behind you. Drop the knees toward each other. Very gently find a windshield wiper motion, left and right. For my body, it feels good to bring the inner knee toward as close toward the ground as I can. That might not work for your body. We're going to take a few minutes to do some standing postures, a little flow, as I promised, a gentle flow. So go ahead and find your way into your comfortable seat once again. And then leaning over onto one side or another, or perhaps rolling forward onto your knees first. We'll make our way to a downward facing dog. The hips are lifting high toward the upper corner of the room where the wall and the ceiling meets. The navel joins them in that energetic direction. Maybe there's movement into the knees and the feet. Fingers nice and wide, so you're using all the real estate you can except the very center of the hands. The chest presses toward the thighs. Breathe in, rise up to the tiptoes. Exhale, bend the knees so the shins hover over the mat. Pause here, activating the quads. Keep the belly strong. The pelvic floor lifts upward. Big breath in. Exhale, lift the hips, lengthen the legs. Dog. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale, rise back to the tiptoes. Bend the knees again. Pause once more. This time, look past your hands. Little tiny steps on the balls of the feet to your hands and a forward fold. Maybe in this forward fold, you find a ragdoll. Feet floating, hips width distance, elbows can bend. The hand cups each elbow. The head is super heavy. Imagine the head is like ballast in a ship. Release the hands toward the mat on a breath out. Find a little sway if you're listening to the Spotify playlist that was provided. Maybe you find a little sway and breath with the rhythm of the music. Pause, center, soften the knees a lot. Roll slowly up to standing as if there's a string attached to the heart, and it's lifting you upward toward the sky. Hands by your sides, palms face forward, mountain pose. Shift the weight into the heels, lift the balls of the feet off the mat, spread the toes wide. One at a time, starting with the pinky toes, bring the toes back to the mat. Inhale, sweep the arms high overhead. Exhale, soft knees, hands come through the heart for your forward fold, Uttanasana. Inhale, rise to standing, press the floor away. Use the energy driving upward toward the stars to float the arms high. Exhale, cactus arms. Check in here. Really feel like the shoulders and the elbows are taking up more space in the room than they might normally. Fingertips spread apart. Intertwine the hands behind your low back or your bottom, or take the hands to the hips, or maybe the heels of the hands to the low back. Wherever the hands are, finding a squeezing together of the shoulder blades so the collarbones start to smile. Imagine the coolest emoji made by your face and your shoulders and your collarbones. The collarbone is the smile. Sit gently into a chair pose. Weight is in the heels. Especially if you have wonky knees, you're going to keep the feet wide. If it's possible for you to keep the hands intertwined or on your low back, find a forward fold that way, and perhaps if the fingers are intertwined, the hands float from the spine. Big breath in and out. Another breath in. Release the hands toward the mat. Glide the fingertips up the shins. Breathe in for a halfway lift. Ardha Uttanasana, belly long and strong. Exhale, release and fold. Another halfway lift. Ardha Uttanasana, long spine, shoulders toward the hips, belly in and up. Exhale, fold. Hands come to the mat. Glide the left foot toward the back of the mat. Hands frame your front foot. Find as long a stance as you can here. If you feel a little wobbly, you might move the right foot out to the right. You might bring a pillow under each hand if that helps for your balance. A long breath in, super line of energy from the left heel to the crown of the head. Belly moves in and up. Front knee over the front ankle. On your next breath out, lengthen the front leg, lift the hips a little bit and fold. Drop the head. Inhale, peel forward, back to a runner's lunge. Exhale, lengthen the front leg and fold. Maybe you come onto the heel of the front foot. Inhale, come forward. Exhale, lengthen and fold. Inhale, come forward, front knee bends. Hands forward just a little bit in front of that foot to allow for the back foot to slide up the mat halfway. We're working to bring the hips parallel to the front of the mat, so maybe a thumb inside the front hip can help with that. Perhaps you widen your stance left to right. This might be enough for you, or maybe, again, you find a pillow to bring your hands to so the spine's nice and long, or perhaps you have more space to fold for Parsvottanasana, pyramid pose. Energy moves from the ball of the left foot into the ground to send the left hip behind you, and more energy into the heel and the outer edge of the back foot. Nod your head, shake your head, breathe in. Exhale, back foot steps up to meet the front. Soften your knees, float all the way to standing. Shoulders stack over the hips, arms float high. Breath out, palms to your heart, Samastihi. Inhale again, sweep the arms high, maybe bend the knees a lot or come into chair to find the fold over your legs. Inhale, halfway lift, hands might be on the ground if that allows you to have a flat back. Exhale, forward fold. This time, the right foot glides to the back of the mat. Maybe make more space left to right between the feet. Hands frame your front foot. Maybe the fingertips are on the ground. And find length in this posture of runner's lunge. Shoulders toward the hips, belly in and up. On a breath out, fold over the front leg as you lengthen it. Maybe there's a bend in it. Inhale, runner's lunge, shoulders toward the hips. Exhale, lengthen and fold. Inhale, runner's lunge. Exhale, lengthen and fold. We'll pause here. Maybe you draw the ball of the front foot away from the mat for additional stretch in the hamstrings and the calf. Drop your head. Inhale, peel the heart forward. Runner's lunge for a moment as you move the fingertips beyond the front foot. Press energy into that foot to shorten your stance. Square the hips to the front of the mat. Parsvottanasana. Big breath in. Exhale, the right foot steps up to meet the left. Soften the knees. Roll to standing like you are a slinky. Inhale, sweep the arms high. Exhale, palms together at your heart. Bring the fingertips toward each other on the front of the body, so the palms face the heart. Elbows are reaching to the sides of the room. Squeeze the shoulder blades together. Take an inhale. Exhale, twist over the right shoulder. Working to keep the hips as square as you can to the front of the mat. Maybe you find a little more momentum, letting the right arm float behind you. The gaze can follow. And if it feels good, the left arm can reach in front. If the arms are long, take the right hand, Place it behind your back, lift the left arm high, a little twisty back bend. Like the lever, left arm reaches in front, right arm reaches behind. Come back to center, take your time, fingertips touch, breathe in and out. Shoulder blades draw into the center of the spine, breathe in. Twist on the breath out, opposite side, left shoulder. Create momentum by reaching the left arm behind if that feels right for the body. Continue that momentum with the right arm reaching to the front. If it feels okay for your body, the left hand reaches behind you, the back of the hand can come around to the right hip. Right arm floats high. Twisty back bend. Return with the right arm in front, left arm behind. This time as we come to center, the palms press together. Work the arms back into the shoulders. Hands come to your heart. Inhale, sweep your arms high. Exhale, swan dive, long flat back, forward fold. Breathe in, halfway lift. Exhale, forward fold. Make your way to a seat. That might be simply by crossing the ankles and bringing the bottom down to the mat. Or maybe you find another route there for yourself. Go ahead and take a couple final postures seated before we move into Shavasana. Take the right heel, place it just under the top of the left thigh. You can either keep the left foot on the ground, or you can go ahead and cross it outside the right thigh. If you cross it outside the right thigh, work the sitting bones toward the mat and the big toe mound toward the ground. You can use your elbow to the outside of the left knee, or your hand or arm can wrap around. Left hand is your kickstand behind you. Sorry, that was the right arm. Breathe in, get nice and tall. Exhale, twist. Inhale, lengthen. Breathe out, twist. One more round. Inhale, return to center. We'll take that to the other side. You can find any switcheroo that feels good for your body. Either way, the heel of the left foot is right up against the glutes. The right foot may be just on the ground in front, or perhaps it crosses to the outside of the left leg. We use the kickstand approach once again as the spine lengthens on a breath in. When we exhale, there's the twist. An inhale brings you through center. Lengthen the legs onto the mat. Maybe if your hamstrings are tight, there's a nice bend in the knees. Toes point toward your torso. Collarbones beautifully wide as you find a fold over the legs. Breathe in, rise up to your seat. Soles of the feet glide onto the mat. Knees point toward the sky. Checking in that when you go to your back, you're not overlapping your mat. You'll find your way all the way down to your mat, slowly or quickly, your choice. Finding a strong belly. Inhale, find a full body stretch. A friend calls it a pencil stretch. I love that. Maybe the legs long on the ground, toes point in front, fingers reach, reach, reach. Breathe in. Let it all go. Hands come back by your sides. Knees bend, feet wide on the mat. Knees touch. And a little movement left and right. When you're ready, find your way into the final resting posture, Shavasana. That might mean knees are bent to the sky, something's under your neck or head or your low spine. There's space between the feet, and if you can, you allow the palms to face upward. Settle in with the rocking left and right of the head. Big, huge breath in and out. Movement and breath return and deepen into the body. Once again, imagine that the warmth of the body has created a little cocoon around the body. Cocoon of warmth that brings light to the room. Gently find your way all the way onto one side, whichever side feels more natural for you. Knees draw in toward the chest. And even as we find our way to this nourishing position, we continue to notice the cocoon of light around us. Top hand presses into the mat, so you find your way back to a seat. Find something comfortable for that seat. Maybe tuck something underneath you or underneath your knees. Hands can be on your thighs or in your lap. We'll close practice as we began, reconsidering this time our intention or motivation. Let the palms come together at your heart. How would you like to characterize the remainder of your day? Close with an Om. Exhale all the air from your lungs. Long, fullest breath in. Thumb knuckles remain at your heart, feeling the warmth of the heart, the fire of self-confidence, compassion that is inside you. Thumb knuckles move to your third eye center, right between and above the eyebrows. The light in me recognizes the light in you. Together we bow. Namaste. Thank you for joining Salt and Sand Studios. I am Karen. This is Try It at Home Yoga Intermissions Gentle Flow. Great to have you all here, and even though you can see me, I can see you on chat, which is great. So come back if you have an opportunity, share, like, donate if you have the funds. If you don't have the funds, this is here for you too. And I look forward to seeing you again next week. Thank you.